From Party Foul in Murfreesboro, here's Blue Raider Extra Point.
And welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin, here as always with Chase Owens and with Will Stevenson. We're back at Party Foul in Murfreesboro on another college game day morning, ready to give you all the Conference USA and Blue Raider info. Let's go ahead and kick it off. First up, we've got Nathan Vaughn in the starting lineup.
The starting lineup.
A meeting of undefeateds looking for a Cinderella run this fall clash in the biggest non-Power 5 game of the week as Cincinnati heads to Dallas for a matchup versus SMU. The Mustangs survived a scare versus Tulane last week in overtime to keep its record spotless and will look to return to the form that helped them beat Memphis this week versus the Bearcats. Shane Buechele looks to have returned to his peak form from back at Texas and is skyrocketing up draft boards. He and the SMU offense will have to keep pace against Cincy's balanced attack and opportunistic defense. Cincinnati racked up 5 interceptions in its USF last week and are limiting opposing offenses to around 300 yards per game. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State have had 2 weeks off thanks to COVID, moving its game versus Baylor to the end of the year, and so far OK State has looked great, limiting opponents to only 3 combined touchdowns in 3 games. We still haven't seen the best of the Cowboys push to 100% with Chuba Hubbard and Tylan Wallace still looking for that breakout game. Iowa State has bounced back strong after an embarrassing loss to Louisiana in its season opener, but it has notched wins against TCU and Oklahoma in 2020. Brock Purdy and Breece Hall have linked up to make this Cyclone offense extremely dangerous. Iowa State's giving up under 100 rushing yards per game so far this season and will need that might to contain Chuba Hubbard if the Cyclones want to pull off the upset. The Big Ten is open for business after changing its mind about playing in a pandemic, and the top matchup for its first week is the battle for the Little Brown Jug between Michigan and Minnesota. Michigan is in a transition year and will lean on presumptive starter Joe Milton at QB and the experienced Zach Charbonnet at running back. Aiden Hutchinson will lead a more experienced defense with returning starlets like Dax Hill bringing some youth to the starting 11. PJ Fleck's Gophers hit the next level in 2019 with 11 wins, but will look to push for a division and perhaps conference title in 2020. Tanner Morgan, Rashad Bateman, and more are back for many, although the defense took a hit with guys like Antoine Winfield departing. This matchup looks to be the talk of the week with a win for either team likely to propel them into the top 10 and Big Ten title discussions.
Thanks, Nathan. It's a nice starting lineup. Try to catch as many games as you can on this college game day morning.
Absolutely. Chase, what are your can't-miss games for today?
Today, I like Nebraska at Ohio State. Big Ten football is back, and while it doesn't have the same impact as when the SEC came back, it's still pretty cool. And I like Baylor at Texas. Texas having another down year, and you really don't expect that with the quarterback they got in Sam Ehlinger. But another quarterback across the way, Baylor's quarterback, Charlie Brewer, he's pretty good, and I think Baylor is going to be competitive this weekend.
Thanks, Chase. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the Big Blue Review. Stay tuned for more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here with Chase Owens and with Willis Stevenson. Let's send it over to Noah Boffman with the Big Blue Review.
The Big Blue Review.
Welcome back. For this week's review, let's take a look back at the hard loss against North Texas last week. Coming into the game, North Texas has one of the best offenses in the country, and boy did they let the Blue Raiders know it. The Blue Raiders were leading 28-21 going into the second half, and most of the offense could be credited to Shaitan Mobley and Asher O'Hara. But when the teams came out for the second half, the Mean Green showed them why they are the best offense in the country and outscored the Blue Raiders 31-7. The final score was 52-35. But with so many sports here on campus, it's okay if one team doesn't do too well, as another one picks up the slack. The team picking up the slack this week was our cross-country teams, as both men's and women's finished 7th in the UAB Invitational, with a lot of good teams in that Invitational. Runners Yulisa Chapecki and Jacob Chogue were named Conference USA Athletes of the Week after their impressive weekend, both finishing in the top 20. On Halloween, they will take on the Conference USA Championships as Kempeki and Chogue look to repeat as champs. That's all the time we have for now. See you next week on the Big Blue Review. Back to y'all.
Thanks, Noah. Much more to come on Blue Raider Extra Point. Coming up after the break, we're going to take you around the CUSA.
And Houston Chapman will have this week's Blue Raider Spotlight.
And since North Texas won this past week, I will not give Will any grief about them.
Hey, the green is mean, man.
I don't know what that's about, but we've got more Blue Raider Extra Point coming up for you after the break.
You're watching Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. We're here at Party Foul in Murfreesboro, and we want to thank them for being such a great host. Chase, I know you've been working so hard to take us around this USA, so what you got for us this week?
This week, my two games for you guys are Marshall against FAU. Those teams are both actually undefeated. The difference is Marshall's 5-0 and FAU is 1-0, so a little bit of difference there. And the other game, my two favorite teams in Conference USA, it seems like the Miners of UTEP taking on the 49ers of Charlotte, and I really just have no idea how I feel about that. Either way, we got to get right into it.
Around the CUSA.
Marshall continues an impressive campaign so far as they are 4-0, average 30 points per game, and are ranked 22nd in the AP poll. It was the same story, different week against LA Tech as Gage Wells and Brennan Knox continued a great season. Wells threw for 227 and had 2 touchdowns, while Knox rushed for 125 and 2 touchdowns of his own. If these two continue to play this way, the entire conference better watch out for Marshall. FAU is 1-0 on the year as they have had to postpone and suspend 3 games due to COVID restrictions. This FAU team also did not look great in their season opener against Charlotte as they gave up 350 passing yards to Chris Reynolds. But the Owls were great on the ground and third down on both sides of the ball. They rushed for 217 yards, averaging 6.6 yards per carry, and held Charlotte to 82 yards and an average of 2 yards a carry. They also forced Charlotte to go 6 for 16 on third down and went 6 of 13 on their own. If FAU can have this kind of game again, they may end Marshall's undefeated season. Charlotte this season has looked decent, but just has not been able to finish games. They have scored first in every single game they've played this year and have lost 2 of them. They are 1-2, but their only win came against North Texas, and as I tell Will every week, we know how North Texas is. Charlotte is averaging over 28 points a game, 6 yards a play, and wins time of possession most of the time. They just give up a lot of big plays, and that's what has kind of hurt them this year. If they can hold the big plays in check, they will be very competitive moving forward. UTEP is 3-2 on the year and looks like one of the better teams in Conference USA. Their losses are to Texas, so no one's holding that against them, and LA Tech. Gavin Harrison has not been terrible as the starting quarterback, but does not seem to score as often as he should. His big plays get the Mariners down into the red zone, but when they need to, they cap it off with rushing touchdowns. Deion Hankins is thankful for that, as he has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. UTEP is looking to capitalize on a Charlotte defense that gives up 200 yards on the ground per game.
Thanks, Chase. And now here's the full lineup of all the Conference USA games for this week.
It's a busy weekend for Conference USA. Let's head over to Houston Chapman for this week's Blue Raider Spotlight.
What's up, Blue Raiders? I'm Houston Chapman here with Jaquez. Jaquez, tell me a little about yourself.
My name is Jaquez Toran. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm a senior, a long sprinter, and I major in aerospace here at MT.
So, how was the season going last year?
The season went well last year. We were able to qualify for nationals for the distance medley relay, so it was cool to be able to represent MTSU at that level. Sadly, we couldn't run at nationals because of the virus, but hopefully this year we can go again.
So, what have you been working on this off season?
This off season, I did a lot of strength and conditioning over the summer after the virus had hit. So just lately, we've been conditioning for the upcoming season to come. Hopefully, if the virus goes away too. So,
what is your favorite event?
My favorite event is the 400. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's a fun race. It can be tough sometimes because it's such a long distance, but with the strategy that comes with it, it's pretty fun to run.
When's the last time you ran a 100?
The last time I ran a 100, it was in high school. I've been doing a 4x1 relay, so I've been running 100 for that. But as far as like an actual open 100, I haven't ran that since high school.
Okay. See, I haven't run one probably since middle school, but here's the thing. I think I can beat you in a 100-meter dash. What do you think?
Let's see what happens.
All right, let's see what happens.
3, 2, 1, go.
In the beginning, I was going stride for stride, and I thought I had a chance to win. However, as you can see right here, he just begins to smile and he starts to pull away. And that's when I knew I lost.
So, as you can see, I was not able to beat Jaquez in the 100-meter dash. I even tried to cheat a little bit with the head start, and I really thought I had him halfway through, but then he passed me by and he got the win. But that's why he's the D1 track athlete and I'm not. Well, here's the thing. I've had a great time today. If you want to check out Jaquez and the rest of the Blue Raider men's track team, you can check them out on social media. And tune in next week for the next Blue Raider Spotlight.
Thanks, Houston. But Chase, I think he's got to be a little quicker than that.
I'd agree with you there, Will. We've got to take a TV timeout, but when we come back, we've got Henry Frazier and the Scouting Report. Stick around for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
Catch Blue Raider Extra Point right here Saturday mornings at 10:30 from Party Foul in Murfreesboro.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
Welcome back. Today, MTSU is set to face Rice. Let's send it over to Henry Frazier with this week's scouting report.
Thank you guys. Rice has yet to play a game this season as their first 3 games were postponed, so expect them to get off to a slow start. They will have a new starting quarterback as sophomore Wiley Green will take over the role. He had 787 yards last season, as well as 4 touchdowns. Also, transfer quarterback Michael Collins from TCU might take some snaps as he adds distance to the Owls offense. As well, the Owls offense lost both of their rushing leaders from last season, Aston Walters and Charlie Booker. The player taking over these roles will be Juve Ottaviano and Ari Brassard. Fortunately, their receiving core is mostly intact, as that was one of their strong points from last season. The Owls will try to make up for their awful season last year as they were only able to pick up 3 wins. Last season, MTSU was unable to beat Rice at home as Asher O'Hara had absolutely no help in the backfield. Look for the Blue Raiders to be able to get something going with other rushers this season. I'd expect one team to run away with the win, but it's unclear who it might be as Rice hasn't played a game this season, so they might come off to a slow start. Thank you guys. Now back to Blue Raider Extra Point.
Thanks, Henry. And now with that scouting report in mind, what are some keys to succeed for MTSU versus Rice?
My 3 keys for MTSU this week start off with the fact that MTSU's got to finish it. Last week against North Texas, they had a 14-point lead in the second quarter, and then they allowed North Texas to score 28 unanswered as North Texas walked away with a 52-35 victory. Number 2, MTSU has got to win the turnover battle this week. Both teams last season struggled on the fact that they gave the ball away more than they took it away. And just like any other college football Saturday, when you do that, you're more than likely going to lose. And then number 3, avenge yourselves. Last season, MTSU and Rice met for the first time in program history, and Rice walked away with a 31-28 victory. That came off the fact that Rice had lost their first 9 games of the year, and after winning that game, went on to win their last 2. Don't let that happen this season. Play for yourself a little bit and get some vengeance.
Absolutely, and my first key is use your experience. This is Rice's first game of the year, and it's going to be with a brand new quarterback and a new pair of running backs. Play a good game and give them a harsh welcoming party to college football. My second key is air it out. Rice had the #1 rush defense in Conference USA last year. Yes, we have one of the best scrambling quarterbacks, but Asher has proved that he can throw. Use that arm where you need it. My third key is be disciplined. Rice averaged 4 penalties per game last year, which was the second best in the country. Play a clean game and stay away from flags so that Rice doesn't take advantage of that easy yardage.
Absolutely. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel that each week we keep repeating ourselves at least a little bit. For my first key, pick yourself up. No, it's not the start of the season that you wanted. You find your first win, and then you drop to North Texas while at home. You have to find something to play for, get the confidence, and run with it. 2, play smart. There's not a single aspect of your game that doesn't need to improve. offense, defense, coaching, and discipline, especially on those penalties. And 3, complete the game. You have to play from start to finish. Jump ahead early and don't hold back.
Absolutely. Those are some great keys, and if MTSU does that this weekend, they'll be successful. We got to take a TV timeout. When we come back, our picks are in. Stick around for more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. Our guest picker for today is MTSU men's head coach, Coach Jimmy Borndame. Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. We're getting ready for kickoff for today, so let's go ahead and get our picks in. First up, we have UTEP and Charlotte.
I'm going to go with the 49ers on that one.
I'm going UTEP.
I mentioned this earlier about how I love both of these teams in the conference, but I think I got to ride with my head coach. Give me Coach Will Healy, give me the 49ers.
I have Charlotte. Southern Miss and Liberty.
After last week's game of Liberty, strong game by Liberty, I'm going with Liberty.
Southern Miss is coming off of a missed week, so I'm going to go Liberty.
I like Liberty as well.
I have Liberty. FAU and Marshall.
That's the big CUSA game of the week, in my opinion. I'm going to go with FAU.
FAU does get some players back from COVID, but that doesn't change my decision. I'm still going Marshall.
FAU does get players back, and I think Willie Taggart is trying to turn FAU around and himself around after kind of where he's been at in his coaching career. But I think Marshall's just too good. I'm riding with Marshall.
I have Marshall as well. UTC and WKU.
It's hard for me to pull for the toppers, but I'm going to go with WKU here.
WKU.
You know, it seems like UTC wins one of these games every year where they beat some low-level FBS school, but I still like the toppers.
I wouldn't say that I like WKU, but that is who I have picked for this week. La Tech and UTSA.
UTSA got off to that hot start, going 3-0. I'm going to go with the Roadrunners.
They did lose to Army last week, but it's Army, so I'm still going UTSA.
UTSA is a very good team. They played very well this year, but I don't know. After that loss to Army, I kind of feel like La Tech's going to capitalize on some early mistakes by UTSA.
I have UTSA. Last up, possibly the most controversial, MTSU versus Rice.
Got to go with Coach Stock and stick with the Blue Raiders.
Let me tell you, that doesn't work because I've tried. I'm going Rice.
You know, this one was a tough one for me, and I think I'm going to go with Rice as well.
That is something I did not expect, but I have Rice.
Check out Blue Raider Extra Point on Instagram and Twitter.
We're back with Coach Jimmy. Coach, I know you're entering your 11th year as a head coach, and year 10 kind of didn't end the way you wanted it to. And after some great things that you guys had done, you guys were finishing 27th ranked in the country, and I know that's your best finish so far as the head coach at MTSU, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we really had the momentum rolling. 4 or 5 wins over Power 5 teams. Things were really going in the right direction. It just kind of got halted, but I'm not worried about it. Focusing on the future and the moment. We're thrilled. We got great crowds coming out to the matches, and we're looking forward to keeping that going and moving forward.
So I assume that as a head coach, every year is a little different. Well, this year is not going to be any different from being different, as you have to deal with some COVID guidelines and some situations like that. But another way it's different, and in a good way, you get 2 fifth-year seniors back, Tom Moonen, Max Roush. How are you feeling about having those guys back?
I mean, I'm thrilled. I mean, every night I go to bed with a big smile on my face. I mean, I'm thrilled. I mean, you got the captain and co-captain back from last year. They're both 24 years old. You've got that mature leadership, and I look at them both as if they're 2 assistant coaches. So have that whole squad back, plus a couple new guys. I mean, we're armed and ready. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. And Middle Tennessee News loves coming out to you guys' home matches to be able to cover you guys. But for those who can't come out and see you guys live, what's a good route for them to go to see you guys play?
Yeah, so this summer, despite all the COVID, we were able to add a $60,000 camera system called the PlaySight system to 6 of the indoor courts that include 2 cameras on each court, which will be live streamed for all the home matches. So you can watch from your laptop, your smartphone, and also we're really excited about the new televised partnership.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee News Sports. Hopefully we get you guys televised as soon as we can.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Can't wait.
Coach Jimmy, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have here today on Blue Raider Extra Point. Thank you so much to our home base, Party Foul of Murfreesboro. And remember to catch us right here on Channel 9 every Saturday morning at 10:30. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We want to hear from you.
And if you missed any of this episode or any of the past episodes, you can check those out on our website at middletennesseenews.net. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. You're lucky that North Texas didn't play this week.
I'm lucky that North Texas didn't play this week.
Dude, and that might be the only game they win this season. But it happened once, and you didn't pick them, so you're still wrong.
But before in the show, a few weeks ago, you said that North Texas didn't have to win.
They don't have to.
But
they just did. They just did. They didn't have to win. They just did.
And then going to Will, you said as soon as you picked MTSU, North Texas wins.
I don't know why I doubted North Texas.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.